Hello and welcome to today's Climate Watch video for July 7th, 2022. It's a Thursday, which means it's Drought Watch Day. The Drought Watch map has updated today from the U.S. Drought Monitor, and things are starting to get a little worse here. We're coming into the summer months now where moisture evaporates at a faster pace. The drought continues to worsen in the west. We're starting to see drought conditions get worse down in Texas now. Texas has been extremely hot for several weeks now, and their heat started up earlier than normal. It actually started in early June this year. And we are now also starting to see some dry pockets form in the southeast and in the Great Lakes region. And I am starting to become a bit concerned about the Great Lakes region because modeling is showing there's going to be a dry stretch there. We also have a dry area that is growing in portions of New England, so that's something we'll have to watch as well. But of course, the most severe and extreme drought is in the West Coast and now Texas. Taking a look at the water levels at Lake Mead in Nevada, we are near all-time historic low water levels. This is an extremely dangerous situation, and it continues to get worse. Water levels measured in feet is at 1,042.49 feet. If you look at previous years, this is lower, and this continues to worsen year after year after year. Taking a look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, you can see the West Coast remains generally below average precipitation, a little bit of slightly above up in Washington State. Down in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado region, there will be slightly wetter conditions with above average precipitation expected due to monsoonal precipitation that will come off from the Pacific and out of Mexico. Southeast U.S. is going to be slightly above average, but look here in the Great Lakes. We now have a below average area that is showing up, and that's because there's going to be a decrease in the amount of activity coming from the convective systems. For the past several weeks, there have been convective systems that have passed through the Great Lakes and then come down into the lower mid-Atlantic. That's kind of going to shut off. The ring of fire is going to become a little bit less active as we get into the next couple weeks. There's going to be one more convective system that comes through tonight through Saturday that will drop into the mid-Atlantic, but after that it's not going to be all that active. Taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center for the next 1 to 7 days in terms of precipitation, bone dry out west. Texas, for the most part, dry. And you can see that little bit of precipitation in the Four Corners region here from that monsoonal moisture. Great Lakes, the majority of this moisture over the next 7 days is going to come from a low pressure system that's going to drop along a boundary that comes into the mid-Atlantic. Some of that moisture is going to spread into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, but there's a lot of disagreement on the precipitation amounts from the models. That boundary is eventually going to shift south and cause unsettled weather in the southeast, and as you can see, they are expecting a much wetter period in the southeast. Precipitation amounts in some areas could exceed 5 inches of rain over the next 7 days. Briefly taking a look at the GFS model here, which will show us conditions are going to remain dry in the west, but you can see that system that comes out of the Great Lakes along the old boundary, and it's going to drop into the mid-Atlantic. Some of the moisture spreads up into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. But after that, watch what happens in the Great Lakes. It really starts to get dry. High pressure remains in control. There's a few minor systems that come through, but no widespread rainfall events, which is why I think they are going to have to continue to monitor the situation in this area, because the drought that has now started to pop up, it's likely going to increase and worsen until the pattern becomes wet again. Looking up in the northeast, for the short-term period over the next week, it's not all that active. There's a couple stretches where there could be some showers and thunderstorm activity. It's the long range that starts to get a little bit wetter, but even at that, I wouldn't pay much attention to it because it's pretty far out there in time. Looking at the plains, that's another area that we have to watch for drought conditions, because modeling, not just the GFS, but other models are showing things will be relatively dry for a long period of time, which signals the drought that we're now seeing forming in Texas, which is becoming extreme to severe, could spread further north over time. Alright, thanks for watching today's video. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and we will do another Drought Watch update next Thursday.